Hey guys, so it's been a while since I've updated the vlog, but there's a really annoying fly. Hang on. Hello Inklings, if you can't tell, I'm going to start vlogging again. My name's Bianca. If you're new here, welcome to Binks Thinks. I've been making booktube videos for a few years, but most recently I have been endeavouring to complete Project TBR 0, which is where I'm trying to read all of the physical books on my shelf. I've been sharing monthly updates on my progress, and I got a new camcorder this year and I've really been wanting to vlog again. My life is quite busy. I'm a full-time high school teacher, so we'll see how it goes. This is going to be my first attempt. Because I'm trying to read the books on my physical shelves, I thought I'd do a few fun themes. And one thing I really want to do is finish the series that I'm in the middle of. So I have a whole shelf on Goodreads where I keep track of this. So according to that shelf, it's called Series to Continue. There are 31 books on that shelf. So that is series that I'm in the middle of, books that I need to finish. Okay, I don't think that's totally up to date. And then I also have a spreadsheet that I made a few months ago, which I have a whole video about. According to that shelf, 201 books on my shelves are from series or from authors that I own multiple copies of that I still haven't read yet. So I'm going to be reading full series that I haven't started, and I'm also going to be doing this video concept, which is finishing series that I have started. So in this video, I'm going to be reading the last book in the Caraval trilogy, which is Finale, the second book in the Divine Rivals duology, Ruthless, Vows, and the final book in the Inheritance Games trilogy, The Final Gambit. So I know this series has a few other books in it that has come out as well, like companion novels, but as far as I know, this is the final book in the trilogy. So these are my 3 books that I'm going to read in this vlog. I think I'll probably listen to this mostly on audio, just because I listen to Divine Rivals on audio. This one I'm definitely going to read physically because I've done that with all the other books. And then the first 2 books in this series I actually ended up reading mostly on ebook, so I might stick with that theme. I have already started with this one a little bit, so I think this is the first book that I will focus on in the vlog. I'll update you as I go, and let's see how this video turns out. The Inheritance Games is very Knives Out, except it's about a teenage girl inheriting a fortune from some guy that I don't think she even really knows, and then she has to deal with his whole family being like, why is this girl the heir to our fortune? So very interesting. The brothers are so much fun, and I'm very excited to read the last one. Hi. I fully have plans to read more of this on the weekend and also to give you an update. Happy to have picked this up, but I think I maybe should have reread like a little bit of the last book or not waited so long, because there are definitely some newer characters that were introduced that I don't remember super well, so a couple of things I'm guessing at, but I really don't feel like going and rereading the other books, so I'm just gonna push through and hope through that I remember things. This whole series is about a girl who inherits a fortune from like a really rich family. She's not part of the family to her knowledge, and she goes and lives with them and meets all of these characters. There's a bunch of siblings. Their grandfather raised them with learning how to do all of these puzzles and things like that. So it's kind of like Knives Out-y. It's like a murder mystery with lots of other mysteries. It's really fun. I love the games and the puzzles, and it's stunning. Okay, I'm gonna read some more of this now. So. Hi. I kind of took a couple of days off of reading the final gambit. Life has gotten busy, but I'm glad I decided to pick it up again this morning because it's just gotten so interesting. They have a puzzle or like a mystery to solve that's been sent to them, and I love those parts of these books, so I'm very much into it again. I'm on page 109, so ideally I wanted to read like 50 pages a day and finish it like yesterday, but that didn't end up happening. That's okay. I'm having a great time, so let's keep reading. Okay, I think we've had a development in this puzzle that they're solving, so that's exciting. Finally got some answers. I'm on page 220. 100-ish to go, I'd say. Okay, so location has changed. I'm at my boyfriend's house for the weekend, and I realised that I have the book on my Kindle, so I'm going to be continuing. I'm going to try to finish it this weekend. I really want to, so that I can move on to the next book I want to read for this vlog. The dogs and I are hanging out together at home. Yeah, can I say hi? Hi, buddy. And I'm 85% of the way finished with the final gambit, and I'm enjoying it so much. I'm gonna try to finish it today. It's reached that point where I can't put it down, and it's so much fun. Okay, I finished the book. I loved it. 5 stars. And I didn't realize, but there's a bonus short story in the back, so I'm gonna read that as well. I definitely think it is well worth reading all 3 of these books. They're so good, and I love how Jennifer Lynn Barnes has tied it up in the 3rd book. Just the planning she put into this is amazing, so highly recommend. And I'm so happy I finally finished it, and I have also realized that there are more books in this universe, so I technically have not finished this series yet. I finished the original trilogy, but there's like a 4th book bridging between this trilogy and I think a new trilogy called The Grandest Game. So, but I don't own them yet, so those will have to go on my wish list. This Vows is a fantasy duology, and in this world there's a war between gods happening, and the main 2 characters are journalists, and there are magic typewriters involved. It reminded me so much of when Rory and Logan work at the school paper together, so I was extremely here for that. It was so fun, and yeah, I can't wait to see how their story ends. I started listening to the audiobook of Ruthless Vows today in the car while I was driving, and I managed to get to chapter 5 of the audiobook, which I think is chapter 4 in the book because there's also a prologue. And I'm so happy that I'm reading this book again. I also just wanted to mention that this book starts off in spring, and it's currently like almost spring where I am, so that's really cool. And I read the first book during autumn and winter when it was autumn and winter in the book, so that was fun. I'm obsessed with both of the main characters, So far we've gotten scenes from both of their point of view. That cliffhanger at the end of the first book, I feel mildly better and excited to see where this goes. I'm still listening to the audiobook of this in the car, and I'm close to the end of chapter 20. I'm always scared to read the second book in a series because it can just totally ruin it for you, but this one is just so good. I'm loving it just as much as the first one, and I quite love how she has kind of swapped the roles here, and if you've read the first one you'll understand. I don't want to give any spoilers. It's just so satisfying. It's like a similar trope and I'm here for it. I'm eating it up, loving it. I'm so glad I decided to film this and document how much I am enjoying this. I wish I documented myself reading the first one so I can remember. Having a great time, and also I might put on my Divine Rivals playlist that I made earlier, but I made that because of how much I enjoyed the first book. And I think this might be like a new favorite series that I'll reread again one day. So I love that. I'm at chapter 40 of Ruthless Vows and I'm still loving it. It just got really intense. Also, on an unrelated note, I just got back from running my Australian citizenship test and I passed with 100%. So I'm so excited and I'm in a great mood. But I do have to do some marking now. But hopefully I'll be able to finish this week. Editing me here, and turns out that I did finish the book. I was just really disappointed by the ending, so yeah. If you're not aware, Caraval is a fantasy trilogy all about this magical game that happens once a year, and then we follow two sisters as they participate in their first and second caraval. So the first book is from Scarlett's perspective, the first sister, and then Legendary is from Tella or Donatella's perspective. And I have heard that finale is from both sisters' perspectives, so I'm very excited to read this one. I've missed Scarlett. Hello. Ladies. Madam. Hello. Hey guys, I have been reading Finale on my Kindle mostly, so I think I'm just going to update to where I am in my physical copy. Chapter 19, which is awesome. Page 139. That's pretty good progress. I wanted to finish this book earlier, but life just hasn't been working out that way. I'm really enjoying it though. I like that there is now like a dual POV between the two sisters. So the first book follows Scarlett, and then the second book follows Donatella, and now in this book we're getting dual perspectives. So it switches every now and then to each sister. So I like getting a bit more of Scarlett in this one because I think her book was my favorite so far. But who knows? Finale might top it. You never know. Hello, I'm still reading Finale. I've read a bunch of other books in the in-between time. I think it's about time I read this one again. I'm home sick. We were supposed to go away this weekend but then I got sick, so I'm kind of grumpy and disappointed, but I may as well just read this book. I have an assignment to do as well. I am still really enjoying the book though. I think like 30% through, 32%, so on the ebook I'm on page 111. Is it weird that because I was reading the other two books on my Kindle, I want to read this one on my Kindle, even though I own a physical book? I don't know why I'm like that. Hello. I have finally finished Finale. It has taken me such a long time. I was reading mostly on my Kindle, but after looking at the size of this book and seeing that it's got almost 500 pages, it makes sense that this one took me a while to read, so that's fine. I did really enjoy it. I still think that the first one in the trilogy is my favorite so far, but this was a really good ending. I'm so happy that I finally read the series, and now I can replace that with the sequel series, Once Upon a Broken Heart. This has been a great reading vlog. So I've read 3 books. The first one was The Final Gambit, which I think I rated that one 4 stars. I think that was a really fun way to wrap up that trilogy. However, I'm not totally finished with that series yet because she's released a bunch of companion novels and a sequel series. So I thought I was finishing a series, but not yet. I watched someone else's video yesterday where they were like, why is she releasing more books? And I kind of feel the same, just because we want the satisfaction of finishing series. Then Divine Rivals was the second book I read. It was a little bit kind of disappointing. It didn't give me the exact same feelings that Divine Rivals did, but I did really enjoy it, and I'm glad it's not more than 2 books. Like, I feel like it could have just been one big book. But yeah, I didn't like the second one as much as the first one. Divine Rivals was still so much fun. Had amazing time reading it. I think the Caraval trilogy did a really great job of just having enough for a trilogy. Each book stands on its own and they all have like a separate little story that ties in really well with the last one. I also love how each sister had her own book, and now this last one is kind of about both of them. As someone who has a sister in real life, I kind of always feel really attached to books about siblings, and I think this sibling dynamic was a pretty good one. They don't always get along and sometimes they're mad at each other, which is realistic. This is the first video in a series that I'm starting, so I might consider this like episode 1, where I try to read all of the series that I'm in the middle of. I think I'll just update my spreadsheet, and I also have been making a new spreadsheet, so I'll show that to you guys as well. Okay, so this is what my spreadsheet is looking like for this year. Caraval, Stephanie Garber, I've read 3 now, so that's updated to 100% done. And we've also got Divine Rivals, I've read 2, so that one's 100%. The Inheritance Games, and I know it says 3 because those are the only 3 that I own. So all 3 of those guys are now finished. So that's awesome. Now I can like resort this table. So they're all in my finished section now. And we can hide all of those. Okay. So this is my spreadsheet that I've been using this year. I was having a bit of a time yesterday where I was making changes to it, so I added the author column. I used to just have the name, So I've added the author column for like series so that I can write down author names, and I added my little like a progress bar here at the end. And then I was playing around some more and I decided to make a whole other one that I think looks even better. So I might migrate over to this one soon. Okay, I turned on the lights because it's very rainy outside today and I realize you can't really see my face. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and subscribe if you like it. I'm also doing this whole challenge called Project TBR 0 where I let you guys know every single month how many books I read, unhauled and bought. So trying to get my TBR down. I started this year with 350 books. So my goal is 0. Let's see how long it takes me to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Keep reading, Inklings. Bye!